Hey, howdy, and hello, and welcome to the Crazy Train podcast, the comedy podcast with no rails from Emotionally 14. I'm your host, Rob Wade, and I'm joined, as always, by my rock, the incomparable Blake Harmer.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
How you doing? We are separated, star-crossed podcast lovers for the evening.
Yes. Someone left the rock in the other house.
Yeah, somebody has misplaced the rock, and unfortunately, they are not the most mobile of creatures. No, we had something cool lined up. It didn't come off, but obviously we can still have a show, and so here we are, being our show, doing said show. Here we are now. You seem to have a big foam finger.
Yes, this is. I acquired this by when I went to see Omer do some wrestling with him.
Ah, okay. Well, even in his absence, he gets on mentioned wrestling. It's like 2013 again.
Yes, it was WrestleForce for the name of the promoter.
That's a pretty cool name.
It was a few weeks ago, but he'd done his first match in God knows how long.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But yeah, it was fine. It was good to watch him wrestle. Obviously he didn't do anything as flash as some of the younger guys out there.
Sure. But then they'll end up taking years off their life. So jokes on them.
Yeah. He's already done that.
Yeah, I saw a thing. This will have been out by the time this comes out. SummerSlam will be long gone. Have you seen that? Obviously, SummerSlam was last night. So at the time,
I don't know what the results were.
So we're recording on a Monday night. I can tell you this without spoiling the results. I can tell you that there is a particularly brutal spot in the Jeff Hardy match where he swantons the ring's apron.
Ooh.
Your face says it all. That is the hardest part of the ring. And he's just like. Somebody was saying he pointed out he went on some interview just before SummerSlam, was like, yeah, I've got to ease up because I'm doing my back in, and it's like also Jeff Hardy. Thud.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Was it intentional spot? Or?
Oh yeah, it was a spot. Yeah, you can tell it was played for, but it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude, if you're struggling that much to get around, then
I was going to say, it's not completely, as long as he hasn't balked himself.
No, I don't think he has. He's just like a freak of nature, that guy. He's got more hair than I have, and he's like 40.
Yeah, I assume he just takes more drugs, I suppose.
Yeah. He dyes the fuck out of it as well, doesn't he? Like, he's had his hair and his face every colour under the sun, so you think he'd be kind of just completely out of it, but he'd be sort of bald by now, or it'd be scraggy, but it's glorious and luxurious, the bastard. But yeah, that seems to be the thing. The Hardys both seem to be talking about like being a bit run down, and there's a lot of people thinking that Matt might be almost done.
Well, I was thinking there must be. Well, seeing as their heyday was probably when I watched wrestling, like late 90s, early noughties.
You're talking like 20 years ago, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And they're still okay. I know with the PG era of WWE, they don't put themselves through as many tables or chair shots or ladders or anything like that. But they still do the high-flying stuff, and they're still, and I just thought some of the moves and stunts that they've done over the past 20-odd years, it's got, that's got to leave a mark. Especially if they've both had... does Matt have had any problems with drink? Or?
With drink? Not that I know of, no. Although I feel like he was arrested.
Jeff was drugged up. But.
Yeah, I feel like he was arrested. I feel like Matt Hardy arrested? Matt, I'm going to have to look it up.
I've got a feeling he did something, although I know Jeff normally gets the papers more than that.
It's usually Jeff that gets the column inches. Oh, yeah. Matt was arrested in 2014.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy was arrested this year.
Probably.
Yeah, Jeff definitely Jeff gets more of the headlines, and deservedly so. So, it seems he does commit more crimes. That'll happen.
That'll be the drugs.
I mean, you can't fault the guy's talent in the ring, but you can potentially fault.
I think you could fault him when he was fighting Sting.
Yeah, I think you could, and I think Sting had a go at faulting him. Did you know the story behind that?
I know he was apologising and that he basically held him down and all that, but I don't know what happened in the aftermath.
Afterwards, the fans were chanting bullshit, and Sting just yelled, "I agree." I like Sting. He seems like the kind of guy who doesn't put up with any bullshit. And, Russians is a tune as well.
Yeah. But has Jeff ever... Did Jeff get reprimanded for that? Or?
Oh, yeah. I think he got fired at one point, and then I think he was suspended for a while as well for DWI was his last, so driving while intoxicated. Not drunk with intent, as I used to think it was.
I intend to get smashed.
Yeah, I intended to get smashed, and look what's happened to me now. Look at me now.
I'm fabulous.
Great success.
Are the police here to give me my medal?
Dun.
Yeah, I was quite happy playing. I think we watched Dogs 2 a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Just playing it randomly as I was coming up to the bar. I don't know if it's actually a tune.
I assume it is.
But it was playing the Hardy Boys theme from the bar as I walked in. And
That's amazing.
I walked in and instantly felt epic.
That's awesome,
game.
yeah.
So, I was just like, I was expecting, what, am I going to fight the Hardy Boys now?
Yeah. Fight whoever. Just like, you suddenly you look up and Matt just dives off the roof of the bar at you. So I think I've got this weird bug where the game seems to be mixed with a different game.
Yeah. Hey, think fast.
Yeah. Think fast, it says Mario as he punches you in the face.
I was going to say, is Ubisoft bought the 2K now? Apparently,
well, maybe so. But yeah, if you've never heard the Crazy Train before, by the way, what you're in for is more of the same. We are the comedy podcast with no rails. We start from a point at random in time and go where the conversation takes us. Nobody knows where the Crazy Train goes. And if that sounds like your bag, welcome aboard. And if it doesn't, then feel free to jump off at the next station, stick a spoon up your ass and get to fuck Island. But thank you for trying.
Yeah.
I'm never going to say, I'm never going to be ungrateful for people giving it a go.
No, if anything, we are very trying.
We are. That's certainly true. We are an exercise in patience.
Yeah. So,
I think we're banned under the Geneva Convention. But how you been? I haven't spoken to you in a while.
Yeah, I've been good. Obviously, I know the last time.
Yes, you were. Unfortunately, so. Are you feeling better now?
Yeah, much better. Thanks.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I've recovered to full rock strength.
Excellent. You're back up to rock.
I'll just keep using Harden or whatever.
Yeah. So you've gone from rock bottom to top of the rock.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah. Let's make that.
That's an analogy.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, it's unfortunate the last time we couldn't record, but unfortunately you were sick and you were also Crouch's Ride. So that put paid to that idea.
Yeah. I was hoping you would record. But, yeah.
Me too. We did. It was discussed as something we could potentially still manage, but it wouldn't. The logistics weren't quite right. So, unfortunately, in that case, no show is better than just me doing the Crazy Train by myself. There are certain shows I can get away with doing solo. The Crazy Train would not be one of them.
No.
So we have email. We have an email. So who would you? Which of the Crazy Train people would you take in a fight? Well, Blake, what do you? Oh. Brad, what?
Well, going on the mood I'm in now.
All of them. every last one. And random people who are just associated with them.
No, apart from that.
Who's Blake out with? Wilson, I'll kill him.
No, apart from that, me and Joe have started practicing more now with the band.
Oh, that's cool.
Started to pick up
the U14 unofficial band.
Yeah, so Sauerkraut. With Sauerkraut. It's been going quite. It's going quite well. We've added a new member, Joe's cousin, that's joined the band.
I wondered who that was. It's annoying actually you say that because when Crouch put up a thing on Instagram, which you can follow at Sauerkraut, I believe, and he put up things saying like, "Oh, we've got a band member joining us. It's a surprise." And I replied back just as a joke, like, "Is it Omer?" That's usually how these things go with bands and people associated with E14.
Yeah.
But he said, "Oh no, it's not Omer. I don't think you know them." And I was like, so for me, it's going to be a surprise forever because I have no idea. I'm going to see him on stage and go, "Who the fuck is that?"
It's a person.
Yeah, clearly. I gathered that much, although it could have been a machine, I guess.
That's very true as well.
Yeah, nowadays.
I've not administered the test on him yet.
Plus, also, I've been watching Battlestar, so all bets are off.
Yeah. Well, if I say, can you count us in? And
by your command.
By your command, yeah.
Kill him! Hit him! That's not what they do in Battlestar. Or at least I haven't got that far yet, so they might do. But
I think they must say by your command at some point.
Oh, they do. And I think that's in the. They do the. So I've watched
the original film.
Yeah. So far I've watched there's a 2-part miniseries that sets it up, and then I've watched 3 episodes of the first series, and it's so good.
Yeah, I need to watch it. Kat keeps telling me to watch it, and I think the thing is, she's tried putting on the first episode, and I was like, oh, I think I'll be all right, but I didn't realise how long it was.
Yeah, the 2-part miniseries are both an hour and a half each, so it's like it's basically a film.
If she told me it was a film, I might have gone, oh, maybe a different night, but I was just like, I thought, I might be able to stay awake for 45 minutes, but then I was like, oh, Jesus, please. I'm really tired.
I've been really bad for TV this year. I realised, I keep my spreadsheet with all the stuff I've watched and stuff that's new to me. Not like if I just go back and rewatch Frasier, then it doesn't count. And I worked it out, and I went through, and I was quite surprised because when I finished the Battlestar miniseries, I went to my TV to add it, and it was the first entry of 2018. Okay. I watched any series all the way through in this year.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not normally great when it comes to series, so I find myself either rewatching series that I've already seen, like I can watch Futurama on loop. But,
same with Family Guy for me as well.
Yeah, but I do find that watching new stuff, either with me and Kat will get like halfway and then give up, or we'll be quite slow with it if we do get through it. Like, I mean, I've been halfway through the second series of Stranger Things since it released. I haven't really been.
I still need to catch up with that.
Yeah, I haven't done the second series of Daredevil, which I really want to because I would like to see The Punisher. But,
I think I'm kind of getting to the point now where I'm seriously giving credence to the idea of jumping back on Netflix, because I've cancelled it ages ago because we weren't watching anything. But the more and more I think about the stuff I'm missing out on being able to watch there, the more I think, you know what, I might be tempted just to go back in, binge a show, because I'm trying to get into a rhythm of like using train journeys to watch TV episodes and stuff, because it's quite the length of my train journey is pretty much bang on for an episode of a TV show. Like 40 to 45 minutes is about exactly what roughly what my journey equates to on a daily basis each way. So in the morning, I tend to do stuff I need to concentrate on. So like if it's editing or something like that, I'll do that in the morning. Okay. And then in the evening, on the way back, I don't particularly want to do anything strenuous mentally. I just want to kick back and watch something. So I'm trying to get into the habit of like something useful in the morning, like trying to read or, like I say, doing some editing or something like that. And then in the evening, watching an episode of Battlestar or listening to a podcast or something like that.
Okay.
That's a rhythm I'm trying to get into. So I feel like once I get into that rhythm, eventually I'm going to run out of Battlestar because I'm going to be watching 5 episodes a week. And it won't take long, even though it's like, I think the first series is 20. No, it can't be 20. It's 15, maybe 15 episodes, something along those lines. So it's only going to take me 3 weeks to be through it. And then the second series is probably going to be pretty similar length. So that's going to be another, 3-4 weeks. And eventually I'm going to get to the point where it's like a couple of months down the line, I've got nothing to watch. I'm going to have to jump onto something else. Now, Amazon's...
There's quite a few series of the Battlestar. There's about 5, isn't there?
There's 4 plus the miniseries, and then there's also a tie-in movie as well. So...
Yeah, I think I bought that for Kat at some point.
The Plan, it's called.
Okay.
I don't want to watch it in case it gives spoilers for the rest of the series, because they keep saying in the series at the beginning it's like the Cylons were created by man, and then they struck and all that, and then at the end it says they look like humans and they have a plan. But I wonder if that's the same plan that's referenced in the movie of the same name.
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah, exactly. So just I don't want to take the risk of getting spoiled, because I'm having a lot of fun being surprised by the show. Yeah, because I've never actually caught up on it.
It's a weird one that I've never really watched. I only have a very basic knowledge of the like the old film and stuff like that. And I know of it, and I know loosely what it's about, but I've never, must admit, it's one of those ones that it's never. It's not like, I'm terrible with Game of Thrones, but, because it's popular culture, a lot of it's been spoiled for me already.
Yeah, that's the trouble with that, isn't it? If it's topical at the time, you tend to be more at risk for spoilers. Now it's been so long with Battlestar.
As I said, no one's really mentioned Battlestar, but they'll say, oh yeah, you must watch it, it's really good.
Yeah, exactly. That was what happened to me in the end. Enough people said to me, I can't fault it. But I was like, you know what? I've got nothing else on my to watch pile that kind of interests me right now. And Jen's been watching Bosch on Amazon.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that's good.
It's excellent. Now, I would normally say I'll be watching that with her instead, but I've already seen the first 3 series. So while she's catching up, I need something else to watch. Because once we get to series 4, then we'll watch it together. But until then, I need to watch something else before she catches up. So I've been watching Battlestar, once she catches up, I'll probably still watch Bosch with her, and then I'll be watching Battlestar on the train. So I'll just have 2 series on the go. I feel like they're sufficiently different that I should be safe. You know,
I would have thought so.
One is a sci-fi in the far future with robots for humans, and then one is a pretty procedural crime drama set in modern day LA. I think I'm safe.
Yeah, and unless you think that one of them's a Cylon or something, you'll be all right.
I have my theories about Lance Reddick, but otherwise, but that's just because he's such a poised gentleman. You know, he's the one who played what's his name in Horizon? The guy who's a hologram for most of it. Sylar or something.
Or Sarek
yeah,
or
well, him. He plays
like
him.
Yeah,
and he's awesome.
Isn't he also the? I know we've called him on the podcast before. He's also the hotel staff in John Wick.
Yes, and he's in The Wire as well. I hear he's very good in The Wire.
Okay.
I've never seen The Wire, but if it's on Amazon, that might be one I go on to afterwards. Who knows? But or I may just redo Constantine because I really love that show.
That really didn't need to be cancelled.
I can understand why it was, because it's supernatural again.
It was badly placed with at the same time as Supernatural. I think if they put it on a separate day, I think it would or if another person, another provider snapped it up, I thought that would have been
but obviously in the meantime it's like it's annoying though, because anytime something is Amazon exclusive, you can't get it on DVD. I'd love to be able to get the Constantine series and just have it, and then if I ever cancelled Amazon, I'd still have it. But because it's an Amazon one, it's not available.
Oh, because I thought they would have eventually brought it out. Because I thought they brought out. Didn't Extant come out? The Halle Berry TV show. I
don't know, but now you say that does sound familiar. But then Bosch has never come out.
But I wondered if. Because then my other thing was I know Netflix have eventually brought out the Marvel shows on DVD and Blu-ray.
And now I think about it, also, what's it called? It's available on DVD. Preacher. You can get that on digital at least on iTunes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And presumably other download services as well.
You might not be able to get Series 3, obviously, at the moment, but
if it's in
some of the older ones, you might be able to.
Yeah, if it's in progress, I understand it, but I'm sure they've got stuff like that out available now. But
I was trying to think of all the shows I've watched recently, and I've realised they're all cartoons.
That's fair enough. Have you been watching that?
I'm a massive child. Are you going to say Disenchantment?
That's what I was asking. Yeah, have you had a chance to watch any?
I've watched about the first 4 episodes, I think.
How is it? Because I watched the advert and I was like, this doesn't make me want to watch the show.
It makes me smile. It doesn't make me laugh out loud.
Okay, that kind of in line with what I'd expect.
I'm enjoying it. I'm going to carry on watching it. But that's the thing. I'm really trying desperately not to draw comparisons to its other 2 shows.
Unfortunately, it's kind of inevitable, isn't it? Especially as I've noticed a lot of the animation style, the character designs and stuff look very Futurama and Simpsons-esque.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's created by Matt Groening, so I wouldn't be surprised if...
Well, exactly,
it didn't. I'd be surprised if it didn't have the same art style, really.
Yeah, exactly. But like even things like the little goblin fella looks a bit like he's got the same sort of wrinkles as... Yeah, he's got the same sort of wrinkles as like the crazy cat lady and stuff.
Well, it doesn't help that obviously Billy West and John DiMaggio are in it as well. But...
Oh, okay. Well, who does Billy West play then?
Billy West plays the castle magician in it. It's one of the voices he does.
Yeah, I have to say, I caveat with the fact that I've watched it over somebody's shoulder with the sound off, so I don't have any kind of... Yeah,
none of them are on the major light. In the first 2 episodes, there's a prince who's voiced by Matt Berry.
Okay.
There is... There is one of like the King's Advisor is obviously voiced by whoever does Kif's voice.
Oh, okay. So that's Maurice LaMarche, I guess? Yeah,
so he sounds very much like Kif.
Yeah.
I haven't heard like Phil Lamar or anything like that yet, but he might be he might turn up in a later episode or whatever. But, but apart from that, I don't think any of the main character, I don't think I recognise her from anyone. So the one who plays Bing.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to keep watching it because it's holding my interest, and I'm getting a few laughs out of it every episode, which is still 2 more laughs than a new Simpsons episode.
Yeah, fair. That's harsh but true,
Yeah, it's not. It's as I said, it sort of makes me smile, but it's not I'm not drawing too. I think it's a bit unkind to compare it to Futurama, especially when I remember the first series of Futurama airing the same time as the first series of Family Guy, and I remember everyone going, "Oh, Futurama's great," and I was going, "It's getting blown out fucking water, mate." And now looking back on it, I see Futurama as the better show. But
I think Futurama's got more. I wonder if it's just because the characters have a progression through the series of like they have kind of character arcs, whereas because of the nature of Family Guy, everything has to be resolved in 20 minutes.
Yeah, Family Guy is more of a sketch show, I suppose, really.
Yeah, it's got more of that feel to it, whereas Futurama can kind of weave in slight points into narrative over time. Although Bender is now like 200% metal, which is not,
Yeah, I just think it's his running joke that he's always 40% something.
He's 40% something else.
Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah, as I said, I've always got a lot of time for Futurama, and I think it's a bit. Sadly, I'm going to draw a comparison to Disenchantment with Futurama, but and it's nowhere near as good. But that's at the same time, I'm not finding I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
Then again, one that I watched, which is really, really good, but you got to put the time in, because I must admit the first couple of episodes I was a bit like, not sure. But then I had a couple of people tell me to keep up with it.
Yeah.
It's on it's another Netflix show called Final Space.
Okay.
And that is a very good show. It's got sort of good laughs, not the most hilarious laughs in it, but it gets darker and darker as the series goes on.
Yeah.
So it's got a bit of a BoJacky darkness to it. So it actually gets quite downbeat by the end of it. And it's one of those ones that you end up watching that. And also, if you are going to go back into Netflix, Series 5 is out on the 14th of September. Of BoJack.
Of BoJack. So I'm behind on. Let me think. Is season 3 the one where they're doing the Secretariat movie? Is that series 2?
Trying to think. I think series 2 is the Secretariat movie. Because I think series 3. I think is the one where he's trying to get an Oscar.
He's trying to get an Oscar. I don't know. I'm trying to work out where I got. Where I got to.
He's trying to schmooze with the people to get his thing.
I'm trying to think because I watched
the overarching storyline. I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah, I watched the first series, and I remember thinking, I don't find this funny in the slightest, but I do want to know what happened, so I'd watch the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. BoJack doesn't make me laugh, but in fact, actually, the last series actually made me cry.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it really got me in one of the episodes. It's really downbeat.
Oh, that's the point. I meant to ask you about this. Do you think I'm an emotionless robot?
Why do you ask? Sorry, why do you ask?
Good question. Noted. Response pending.
By your command.
So we watched Paddington 2 the other night, right? Have you seen it?
No, I've heard.
It's a good movie.
Heard it's very good, but
it's
I have
very
heard
enjoyable,
the ending.
charming.
The ending gets to.
Yeah,
it's meant to. Yeah.
So I'll read you the exchange. This is between me and the Master Debaters podcast, who obviously are friends of the show, and we love them very much. And I'll give them a shout out. And this is not intended with any kind of, I know they enjoy the salt, but I'm not having a pop. So he said something about Paddington 2, and I said I really enjoyed it. And it's a kids film, it's very much a kids film in its execution, but it's charming, it's funny, and weirdly enough, me and Jen are pretty convinced one of our neighbours is in it as an extra.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't had a chance to ask them yet, but I'm going to keep an eye out for them. And if I see them, I'll go, weird question. Are you a film extra? Because I don't know.
You don't know that they do it in their spare time.
Haven't got a clue, but I can only assume that is them because I'm really convinced it's them. Anyway, he replied back, "It's a wonderful film. Did you cry at the end? If you say no, then I'm afraid you're a robot." So I replied back saying, "No, it was a lovely ending, but I don't really cry that often anymore." With a gif that says, "I must be a robot then." And he says, "Just seeing him as a cub wearing his hat is enough to make me glassy." But he's a dad. So I wonder if that's what it is. And he's also a massive ponce. So there's that. But yeah, I just wanted to ask, is that weird that I don't really well up at, at movies or anything?
Depends on the subject. I find certain films get me more than others.
Like what?
Well, for me, and you can call me a fucking pansy or whatever, but
I'm asking because I'm interested.
I find the films that get to me are ones where people become friends and then they can't be together anymore and be friends anymore. They're the ones that... They're
too close to home?
They're the sort
Do
of...
they have a podcast?
They're the sort of... sorry, Rob. But they're the...
Not for nothing, but this is a wireless communication medium. We can do this anywhere in the world.
I know. But...
Still no, mate.
It's yeah, I mean, like the... I suppose the pop... Like Drop Dead Fred.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That gets me.
Okay, fair enough.
Every time.
It's been a while since I watched that one. I don't know if it's... but isn't that kind of a nice ending because she's like not mad anymore?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not. Yeah, it's sort of
bittersweet because she's like,
it's
well,
sort of that bittersweet. I know he's there to sort of get her over a thing, but then you're like, oh, but you know, it's
Rick Mail.
But yeah, Rick Mail. Yeah, I think it's just like, you know, he wants to be with you, and she's obviously taking medicine to try and get rid of him and stuff like that. And it is that sort of bittersweet thing. Yeah. I've never watched it since, although when I was very, very little, even though I don't know if I'd cry again, I'll probably look at it and go, a bit shit. But I did cry when the ant died in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Okay, I was quite small then.
You were a militant vegan at the time as well, so there's that.
Dude,
not so much now. Yeah, not so much.
There's enough stories about them.
That explains the whole thing at the factory. Perverse merchants of death. I remember when I was a kid. When you're a kid, you well up at the stupidest shit. Me and my sister wept like bitches at the end of Suburban Commando.
Okay.
How is the answer? Is the question? We were fanatical about Hulk Hogan. Like we were so, it was like, you know, he was our hero because we were the right age for Hulk Hogan being our hero because we were sort of, you know, I think 8 and 6. So it was a weird film to watch. Just it's come crashing down and it hurts inside. But yeah, we're like when I was a kid. I wonder if this is what it is. When I was a kid, I used to cry at all sorts of stuff. Like I had no real right being upset about it to any great degree. I think, when I was nowadays, I find myself, I don't really watching movies and things. I don't really well up at all. Like, I think something choked me up the other day, and I'm still trying to remember what it was, and it's really bugging me that I can't remember what it was. I think it must have just been a random episode of a TV show or something.
Something like Three Ninjas or.
They turned the snapping turtle into a little one. Kevin Nash. He gets destroyed under that pier. Turtles too, man. Gets you every time.
Is it just any wrestlers that do it?
Pretty much, yes. Yeah. Roddy Piper and They Live. Oh, man. That little known
Hacksaw his head in with a toilet in the pub.
Yeah, that little known Hacksaw Jim Duggan cameo in Event Horizon.
There's neither one that goes electric.
Yeah. That's funny. The other day, Andy and Adam at the Retro Inc. podcast, who I'm friends with, they put up a picture in their Facebook group of Event Horizon. And I commented on this, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I kind of love that film. And I'm like, once or twice, because obviously I never shut the fuck up about Event Horizon on this show. And Jen replied back with Electric Man. And that's why I'm marrying her. Not just because of the beach boners.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. It's been really bugging me the last week or so. There was something recently that made me choke up a little bit. It must have been a TV show, like something that was sort of. It was probably something that was designed to tug at the heartstrings, and this time it actually worked for whatever reason. Because a lot of those shows don't usually get to me. The ones that are sort of designed to be tearjerkers don't really work on me because I kind of see through the attempt. But there was something that really...
You're false.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's like, come on, Dragon's Den. I know really that they're going to get investment from somewhere else. So, don't fob me off for this nobody bought into it bullshit. Because, a number of people who've gone away and been successful. Pull the other one, mate.
Yeah, no, I normally watch it and go, well, it was a shit idea.
Exactly. Well, this is a waffle iron that dogs can use. It's like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. £50 million, please.
We're after £2.5 million for 1.6% of our multi-million-pound idea, waffle irons for dogs.
I just like they go, I'm out, and then you just see them, they're like the next big thing. They're like they're going, what the fuck?
You go to Pets at Home one day and it's like waffle irons for dogs. Like,
and it's just wall to wall. Then you can't buy anything else in Pets at Home. It's all waffle irons.
Wow, it just goes to show what they always say: the market's fucking stupid. But there you go. So there is some shit on those shows, but at the same time, there's loads of stuff where they buy into it. I'm just like, why? I gave you a terrible pitch, and then you asked them questions and they had no answers. And it's like, I still believe in the idea. It's like, but you're supposed to be the smart ones.
Yeah, sometimes I think, well, normally people shoot themselves in the foot with the numbers.
Yes,
that's where they normally.
What's your projected turnover for year one? You go, what's turnover? Boom.
Yeah, that's basically the 4 out of 5 dropout right there normally.
We're intending to break £600,000 loss next year, which will be our best year to date. And basically, we're in it to just write off a load of stuff for tax exemption. We've just really wanted new cars for ages, and just figured this was the tidiest way to get them was to just write them off as a business expense. All the cool kids do it, I've heard. But but sometimes you just think, what always gets me about it, right? Because I'm not an entrepreneur, and there are steps in place to stop it from happening, mainly my own complete lack of desire to be an entrepreneur. But I
don't know. You've got a good idea with that waffle line.
Well, quite. Clearly I'm missing the trick. But obviously, this will be out.
Obviously, the ideas, man.
If you hear a lot of bleeping in the episode when it finally goes live, you just know I've decided to pursue that project.
Yeah, baton bending.
Yeah, it means I can't call it the episode. I can't call the episode title "Waffle Lines for Dogs." Yeah. So I shot myself in the foot there by putting copyrighted material inside, theoretically.
But the thing that always bugs me with Dragon's Den is that it's been going for fucking years now.
Yep.
And yet, everyone knows the form, pretty much, and World and his wife knows the form of the show, what you would sort of need to have together and that.
Yep.
Yet, years on, people are still going on there and not having the numbers ready. And I'm just sitting there going, how?
So
you know what the program is. Are
you in the market with any of these? No. So, at this stage, we're just taking pre-orders. So it's Kickstarter then for Dragons.
Yeah.
So how are you? Are this technology patented? Yeah, probably by somebody. Oh yeah, there is somebody who's got the patent. It's not you then. No, I'm fully expecting to be sued into oblivion any day now. I'm so asking for help with the legal bills if you wouldn't mind.
I'm hoping you'd have money. Yeah, I'd hope you give me some money to help me fight the lawsuits. And
just like, so tell me about your sort of portfolio. Well, I have 38 businesses. It's like, right, and this one's the one. Which one are we buying into? Are we buying into all of them? No, just the one. What's it called? Loss Makers UK. Liquidation UK Limited. It's actually a booked company called Chapter 11. Yeah, I know.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
This time, chapters 1 through 10 were flops, but I have a good feeling about it.
Oh, dear. Yeah, that's what bugs me is that how are they still finding these people that are like, I've got an idea. And they just never seem to get the.
What gets me is like, that bit. I understand. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like it's annoying when they come in and they're just woefully unprepared. What I always want to know is how many people told them it was a really good idea for them to pursue it in the first place, or were they just completely dead set on like this is my multi-million-dollar waffle iron idea?
Yeah, it's his mum. Okay.
Exactly. It's like, we got.
But I really like your waffle iron. You should go on Dragon's Den. Oh yeah, you should.
Oh yeah, the dog loves it. Uses it every day. Oh yes. Yeah. He got burned some other way. Horribly burned in some other fashion. Don't you worry about Norbert.
His hair grows back in patterns now. But apart from
that, yeah, we call him crisscross. Because whenever you boil the kettle, he jumps around. Is that crisscross? Yeah, why not? I think that's right. So I found this thing. This did the rounds about a month or so ago. Except we did a slight twist on it because Brad suggested this one. So they did the thing that did the rounds a while back. You can replace the cast of any movie with the Muppets, but you keep one of the human actors.
Oh, okay.
So that did the rounds on Twitter. I'm not sure. Maybe it was the Happy Time Murders that inspired it because I think at the time that was getting a lot of buzz.
Possibly.
I'm not really sure. But Brad came up with a better version, which is much more Crazy Train suitable. You can replace the cast of any movie with the Muppets except one role, which is given to Peter Stormare. What movie? And which part do you give to Peter Stormare? I think Event Horizon.
I knew you were going to say that.
And you give his role to Jolie Richardson's part.
Okay.
So, and you keep everything exactly the same. So you've got like a puppet that replaces, what's his name? The one who sounds like Coltrane. Cooper.
Yeah.
So you've got a puppet that replaces Cooper that asks Peter Stormare if he wants something hot and black inside him. And I just like the idea of Puppet Sam Neill scaring the shit out of Peter Stormare.
Popping his eyes out.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just but you just imagine how comical.
They just use one of the fire spirit things from Labyrinth.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. Well, also, like, just imagine how funny it would be to have to reproduce in puppet form the bit where he's disemboweled Jason Isaacs. Yeah,
unfortunately.
I mean, I just saw a look on your face. It's like I'd never given that any thought. I'm glad, because I'd be worried if you had.
But also, I'm slightly scared that you've put quite a bit of thought into this.
Well, you know, naturally, it's not surprising to anybody who listens to enough of these shows that Event Horizon popped in my list first. God. But yeah, Peter Stormare as Jolie Richardson's part works for me. What say you?
Just trying to think.
Or Taken, maybe. Except Peter Stormare plays the daughter.
You're just giving him all the female.
I just want to see him. I just want to swap him in.
Just want him hiding under the bed
and have nothing else change. I want to see Peter Stormare yanked out from underneath the bed by a pair of puppets. And just Liam Neeson's just puppet face. I don't know. I will look for you. I keep the voices the same. So like Liam Neeson still voices the puppet, but he's going after Peter Stormare, who's being sold off to a sex auction at the end of the movie. Come on, are you telling me, Blake? Are you telling me, in all seriousness, that you wouldn't watch Liam Neeson going after a drugged up Peter Stormare in lingerie being sold off to some high-powered Chinese businessman? Are you seriously? Because I'll call you a liar right here. Blake. I will. Is he even Chinese? That
when's the cinema show?
What?
When's the cinema showing?
Never. I think the audio drama comes out shortly before the paedophile cast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I would possibly go for John Wick.
Oh, okay.
But Peter Stormare is the Beagle.
So let me see if I've got this right.
It's just Keanu Reeves really fawning over here.
Puppet really Theon Greyjoy kills Peter Stormare
and drives Keanu Reeves. Puppet Keanu Reeves
into madness and despair in a bloody revenge tale starring Puppet Lance Reddick, Puppet Peter Serafinowicz, as I recall.
That's John Wick 2, but yeah.
John Wick 2. Yeah. So yeah, Puppet Lance Reddick.
Well, I mean, it can carry on. I mean, even if Peter Stormare also then plays the second dog as well, and it just rolls into both films. That way, you've still got an acting part. But it's just Keanu Reeves just going like, just stuff like that, just occasionally falling over a dog, falling over Peter Stormare.
I don't know what it is about my desire to see like Peter Stormare in the female parts, but I just thought of Dredd. And having him play Judge Anderson. Except you've got Puppet Carl Urban, Puppet Lena Headey, Puppet, what's his name? The one who plays a right-hand man, the skeevy one.
Oh, yeah. I know what I mean.
But yeah, Puppet Judge Anderson. No, Peter Stormare Judge Anderson. And again, you leave exactly the plot. The dealer still like fantasizes about fucking Peter Stormare. It's like Peter Stormare gets in his head and bites his dick off. All that stuff. All that stuff still happens exactly as it did in the film, except it is Peter Stormare in Judge Anderson's part. I don't know what it is that's making me go on this tear, but every time I'm body swapping him in for a female part and swapping out for a puppet elsewhere.
At least you haven't gone for Watchmen in the female part in that.
Yeah, that would be
just watching, Puppet Nite Owl just going to town on.
Peter Stormare in Dr. Manhattan's part. Just painted up, and not even CG, just painted blue with his dong flapping in the wind. And watching him chew the scenery when Dr. Manhattan's normally talking so calmly. You present no more threat to me than the most powerful termite. Nom, 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 delicious scenery.
Yeah, he doesn't. He overreacts so much that he obliterates Rorschach, makes him back up again, and obliterates him again.
He just eats him.
Yeah.
He pretends he's
bites his head off. Yeah.
He just pretends he's scenery and just eats him. But here's one. Constantine.
Okay.
And you replace Peter Stormare with Keanu Reeves. So at the end of the film, Peter Stormare outmatches intellectually puppet Peter Stormare.
Flipping himself the bird.
Tell me you wouldn't watch that.
I feel like it could be good. Yeah, I didn't think of replacing Peter Stormare with another actor and still having puppet Peter Stormare.
There you go. Now we're talking. Now we are talking. Jurassic Park.
That'll make Until Dawn different.
Yeah, well, this is true. What about Jurassic Park? And you swap Peter Stormare in for the T-Rex and puppet everything else. I want giant Peter Stormare to be chasing puppet Jeff Goldblum. And because actually puppet Lex doesn't require that much because her eyes are always bugged out anyway. So you just have a puppet with extremely large eyes and you've got Lex. Because other than suddenly knowing Unix terminal at the end of the film, she's not really good for much else. Apart from wide-eyed, just kind of scared-looking reaction. That's all you get, you know.
Yeah.
Like Timmy's more useful and he's shit. So, you know, like what more can you do? Like what more indictment is there of the kids in Jurassic Park that even the most useful one is shit?
Yeah, plus you get more fun out of electrocuting a puppet, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, Peter Stormare can eat this. Is it the Sam Jackson puppet in the toilet store, or is it the other guy?
No, it's not Samuel L. Jackson.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I've got.
It's the lawyer that died in the toilet.
The lawyer, that's the one. Yeah,
I can't remember what his name is. So.
No, well, it doesn't matter because he's a puppet being eaten by Peter Stormare ultimately.
Yeah. I like that Peter Stormare isn't even dressed up like a T-Rex. He is literally just a giant Peter Stormare just walking up. That's it.
No dinosaur outfit, just giant Peter Stormare walking on two legs as he does. You know,
perfectly normal.
I'm really informed. That's how he walks.
He might eat the toilet because it's scenery, but.
See, as much as we enjoy these jokes, I do feel like we are just kind of gradually losing the possibility we could ever get Peter Stormare on the show.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd be up for it. He seems like the kind of guy who's like, he seems pretty good fun. You know,
he just like kick down your door in a minute.
No, he'll eat it down.
Yeah,
it is scenery.
Just sitting there. Well, I mean, there's a good chance he is listening right now. In which case, Peter, if you do want to come on the show and if you do want to eat Rob's door, then go ahead. Peter
Stormare. Do you know what?
It's a story.
I'll put the official invitation out there. Peter Stormare, if you are listening, I will buy some scenery just for you to eat. I'll provide the snacks, is what I'm saying. Feel free. You're more than welcome anytime to join us on the Crazy Train, the comedy podcast with no rails, as people might have noticed. So, yeah. So we had a question in, aside from that one. Out of interest, if you were to just replace the Muppets into a film and then just keep one human actor, who would you have?
Oh, God, I did have... This is the thing, I had an answer for this and I completely forgot what it was. So I think I did. I think there was a massive thread and I think I did.
Yeah. The thing is, if it's like a, you know, the question is, do you replace like the blood and guts with puppet sort of, you know, like, you know, in Supernatural where the toys came to life in one episode?
Oh, yeah.
And they had like a teddy bear who tried to commit suicide and all you saw was just like a puff of foam just pop out and like just a bit of fluff. Does it work like that? Does it, instead of blood, do you get like fluff and, you know, fluff and...
I suppose it's how you want to make it, because at the end of the day, yeah, if you're getting people getting... Yeah, are you thinking like Seven then?
No, I was thinking like Itchy the Killer. It's like just with puppets instead of... and then just have one random human character.
But the other thing, I thought you could also do like a sort of a Team America thing where you could fill them up with meat so they still go blah.
That's true. Yeah, you could do that. That's a fair point. I mean, Itchy the Killer, you lose much then because a lot of people do seem to be there just to be sliced in half.
That is 90% of the film, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's true. It's been a while since I've seen it, and I remember going, this is a weird film.
Yeah, all I remember is him kicking people's heads open with his shoes. That's all I remember.
Like basically wearing ice skates, essentially, isn't he?
Yeah, like weird back ice skate things, aren't they? Yeah.
But like, I remember there's a couple of films where I have vague memories of it, but like that one is like I just remember thinking that's a weird movie, and oh boy, I just remember thinking that bad guy would make a really good James Bond villain. You know, it's one of those things that popped into my head. I was watching the film. I was like, he'd make a really good villain in like a Bond movie or something similar. He's really cool, calm and collected. And you want somebody like that to sort of, you know, to do a Bond film. Because as much as I enjoy the sort of over the top Bond film.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to sleep with your relative.
Yeah, you're safe for spoilers. It's been long enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you haven't seen it now, you know.
Yeah. Let's be fair.
Watch it. It's a fucking amazing film.
Oh, yeah, totally watch it. Have you ever seen the remake? I've never seen it.
No, it was one of those ones where I just like, it felt unnecessary to be remade, so I didn't really... and the reviews weren't particularly kind for it, so that's
it's Brolin, isn't it? Isn't Thanos in it?
Yeah, I think it is just Brolin.
So you feel like you've got a reasonable get out for it. You can just...
And it is...
you got me, mate.
Apparently the ending is different anyway, because I think the ending is actually more like the actual manga, because the manga actually didn't have that ending. The ending was only put into the film. So I don't know what the manga ending is, but then I was a bit like...
There's a manga, to be honest.
Yeah, the ending's one of the best bits of the film.
Yeah, it's the swerve that you're like, oh shit.
Maybe the manga draws it out a bit longer because obviously if it's making a series of books out of it, then maybe putting it as a film probably isn't the wisest.
It goes from old boy to older boy. They'll find the book is oldest boy. And there's a prequel book, Young Boy.
I must admit, I bought the other couple of films that the director did. I still haven't watched them.
No, I don't think I have. Oh, is it Mr. Vengeance? Sympathy for
Mr. Vengeance and Lady Vengeance.
I've seen Lady Vengeance. I think I've seen that. I don't know. My sister was big on like Asian cinema for a while when she went to university, so I watched a few with her just for sort of like because she was interested in it and it was on telly, so I'd give it a go. Yeah. You know,
I got into it and I bought a lot because I used to watch quite a lot of Asian cinema with Ben. But I think as I've not seen Ben as much, obviously because he's in the army and been about, you know, it's not that fair enough. I haven't watched as much of it as I probably used to, but that doesn't mean I'm not. I mean, I've only recently discovered, although I can't get a digital copy, which is annoying me, that there is actually another film by I can't remember his name, but the guy who's the main character in Raid and Raid 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did another film a couple of years ago called Headshot.
Oh.
And and that's why I was like, ooh, and it does look like a good action, possibly. It looks like lots of guns and looks like he does get into a couple of fistfights. So I thought, it might be quite good. So, but apart from that, I thought the only other film I'd seen in him was being a member of Kanja Club. But I don't think he even says anything.
No, he doesn't. I think the other guy says he doesn't need to speak some there's some language that they subtitle.
So, but I think he has. Apparently, his character does have a talking part because I think I looked it up on. I think he might have a talking part in the book.
Oh, okay.
But that's about it. Yeah. The actor himself has not had that.
No. True. He probably gets a scream in while they're being chased by the Rathtars.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get big murder right at the beginning of it, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't remember how it works. We had a couple of questions from our favourite questioner, writer Inna.
Happy birthday! As of
today, happy birthday to Jeremy Rodian. What's he say? That'll be out of sync slightly, but so it goes.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, what's that, guys? It's remote recordings. Obviously, there's a fraction of a second delay between us, so it gets.
If not, you got a nice echo effect.
Yeah, exactly. So he asked a couple of quick questions. So one is pretty quick, which I think we'll get through in a moment. But I think the other one can keep us going for a little while. Crocs, an abomination or a comfy fashion statement?
I'm more for. The thing is, I know people that own Crocs. So
you can lean more towards one than the other and still not definitively come.
I'm not thinking against those people. I mean, if that's what they want to wear, so be it. But
yeah, you've always been very much a freedom guy.
I'm not saying I appreciate Crocs either, because I think I probably would side more on Abomination, because I don't think that they're very nice looking as shoes.
They don't look that comfortable either.
No, I mean, they may be. They could be really comfortable inside. I wouldn't know. I've never tried a pair.
I wouldn't know. The amount of plastic required to make mine is considered a war crime, so I can't have them. Not allowed. It's considered it's basically the carbon footprint it's literally a footprint.
But that said, I'm not big. I've never been big into wearing like sandals or flip flops or or Crocs, which I always feel to be the lounge shoe, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. They're like slippers, I've always thought.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But they're not, are they? Because people wear them out.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's when I see people that, because obviously I live quite near a co-op, which is where a lot of people treat as their corner shop. I must admit, I'm the same. I've gone down there and I'm like, it's easier just to go down and grab a couple of bits from there than it is
that's fair enough.
Plus go proper shopping.
If it's a chain, you tend to find it's slightly cheaper, but not by much. But it's cheaper than it would be.
Co-op is more pricier than, say, Tesco's would be.
Yeah, like a big supermarket or whatever.
Yeah, but I find it has a better range, obviously, and and probably you probably are getting better quality stuff than you would in just by going to
a standard license.
like a One Stock or whatever.
Yeah,
but so I've gone down there, but I mean, even if I'm fairly loungy when I get up in the morning, I will still get dressed. I might not be, must make sure I'm the best quality looking human in the world.
Suited and booted. Good day, shopkeep.
I'm not gonna put on my bow tie.
No.
But
save that for bang time.
When I feel really fancy.
Yeah. Ritzy break.
Ritzy bang time.
Yes, hello there. Hello there, proprietor of this fine establishment. I'm here in my bow tie because I wish to make purchases from your fine wares. Gatorade, please.
Which when I've gone down there and you see people, they turn up. And I have seen people turn up in their like dressing gown and they've gone to grab some milk. They look like they literally have fallen out of bed.
Yeah.
Hairs all over the place. And I'm just sitting there going, why? It's 5 minutes out of your day just to make yourself slightly more presentable.
I would not go down to the shop in a shirt that I wore to bed, even though nobody apart from me knows that I wore it to bed in like say in the winter. Like when you wear extra layers. Like if I wore a T-shirt to bed and I woke up in the morning, I would still change my T-shirt even just to go down the shop and back.
Oh yeah,
I'm just that way. But
that's the thing. I have been in fairly loungy clothes or been in pajamas. I've got dressed, gone to the shop, and then I might have changed back into my pajamas if I'm having a particularly lazy day.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not going out again.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't bring myself to wear the. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm just trying to think. I can't think of a single instance where I would wear Crocs.
No,
so I think that's why, because I'm not that. I don't really. I mean, is it sort of meant to be wearing around like down the beach? Is that the idea? Or?
I guess so. They're like flip flops, right? They look like them.
That's the thing. I get the feeling they're like flip flops, but they don't have the benefit of flip flops in the fact that if you were to go to a beach, you'd still get sand in them, unlike flip flops where the sand would just fall off.
Yeah, it's true. So, it's academic for me, to be honest, because I don't really buy a lot of. I don't buy a lot of shoes because obviously I'm restricted on sizes more than most from shops at least.
Yeah, well, I'm size like 12, so I mean
you're on the borderline. Yeah, like most places
I can get most places, although stock might not be as good.
Yeah, it's true. So, whereas for me, it's like unless I find a lucky pair in like TK Maxx or something, I'm basically going online. Almost exclusively, and it's mostly eBay to be honest at this point because they tend to be slightly better value than a lot of these big and tall shops just charge you through the fucking teeth. With the exception of Doc Martens are good. If you buy DMs from Doc Martens, they cost the same no matter what size you get, which is cool. Considering it must be
it's an investment, it will last for ages.
Totally. Mine are really robust. I've used them for formal shoes for years and years and years. If I had to wear formal shoes to work, they'd have lasted even longer, but I don't. So they've lasted pretty well.
They lasted me for years before I did I don't have them anymore, but I did buy a second-hand pair, although you wouldn't have told, of Dr. Martens shoes that I used for work for years. They were still toe caps. They were, but you wouldn't have. It looked like They were, even though they were secondhand, it looked like someone must have worn them once because it wasn't like scuffle-buckly or anything like that. You know, they did look practically brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a lot of life out of them, and I was a bit sad because I bought them secondhand, I got them significantly cheaper than I know if I bought them first.
Yeah. So we're leaning more towards Abomination then, although we're not definitively there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm more on the side of Abomination, but only purely because it's not my style. I think it's more the thing.
It's purely subjective, of course. So if people think they're the most comfy fashion statement in the world, the only statement I would imagine they make is "Don't pay me any attention. I'm not worth it." But
it just looked like I can only think the only times I can think of wearing Crocs would be in the house when you're lazing around, in which case I would be just in my socks anyway. Yeah,
exactly. I'd be like, if that, to be honest. Like,
or bare feet or whatever.
That's BARE feet.
Yeah. Arr.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. BARE. Sorry.
Yeah. Just to be clear. Like, I forgot you're illiterate. I have to normally read it to you.
Yeah, bear with me.
That's BEAR with you.
Yeah. You'd be wearing that. You'd be wearing it just to pop out very quickly. But as I said, I wouldn't do that earlier anyway. So if you were popping out, I suppose it is something that's quite easy to slip on, and they're hard enough that you could walk on the ground with. Yeah, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Or you're wearing them to a beach, but even then, I'm a bit like. Again, I enjoy going to the beach, but I'm not one of these people that likes sitting on the beach for long periods of time or anything like that. I think I sit down for 5-10 minutes and I'm like, I want to do something now. So,
yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, I'm the same. I don't like to, it's not that I don't like to relax it's just, I'm not a big beach person. Again, it's one of those things when I was a kid, I was all over it. But as I've got older, it's just not where I want to spend my time. You know, I'd much rather be in. I don't mind being in the in a wooded bit with a bench or something, just like sitting reading under the shade of a tree. It's lovely, but beaches not so much. Too hot, too much sand. I hate sand. It's coarse and irritating. It gets everywhere.
I think I'll go there for chips.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
I did that recently because me and some friends went to Brighton for the day and I had some chips from the seafront, which was pretty cool. It was weird. I've not been back there for like 5+ years.
Well, as I said, me and Kat, probably about a year ago now, I'm saying this, but we just went on a random trip. We had the day off, so we just went on a random trip to Whitstable for the day.
Yeah, and that's nice.
I mean, it is nice. It's basically Rochester by the sea, isn't it?
Pretty much.
It's nice. I mean, a lot of the shops are quite cheap. There's nothing I would personally buy. Yeah. Even if it's, some of the stuff they sell is nice. Mm-hmm. But I must admit, I found myself going and I was like, get some chips, have an ice cream, walk along the Pebble Beach for a bit. I don't mind pebbles, and at least you can skim a few of them. But then I found myself in a pub. That's the thing. I was like, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm like, I'm not really going there for the seaside atmosphere. Right? Yeah. I mean, I was sitting. There is a pub on the beach. I'm trying to think what it's called. I think off the top of my head. But I'm having a brain fart. I'm sure Brad will tell us.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. He knows more about Whitstable than both of us.
Yeah.
Combined, I would say.
I've been to that pub a few times when I go there, but it is basically, it is on the beach. They have benches for the pub on the actual beach.
Oh, so I think I've been past there because I've watched kids trying to catch crabs down at the other end. No, I mean with a bit of string. I'm talking about much younger kids, and we're not doing that show.
Never heard it called that before. It's got the old Neptune or something like that. I think it's something like that.
Okay,
I was trying to think. I know it's something sea related, but again,
the old something god of the sea.
Shock. That'd be some massive fucking shock in Whitstable.
Yeah, I know, right?
But it's so it's okay. The pub's all right, but it's nice to have a drink, go out, and then sit out on the benches. So but that's the thing. I found myself doing that, but it's not like, do you want to do this or do you want to go swim in the sea? I'm like, no, fuck that.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah, I was like, but I mean, if I went to an actual sand beach, so like if I went to Brighton or Margate or something like that, I think I'd walk along it for a bit, go, yep, that's
cool. That was certainly a beach I walked on.
Yeah, and then go get some chips and then have a little look in the arcade and go, it's not as good as games back home, and then go home.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've already paid for those at home.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat 1, really?
More on games later.
Yeah.
So Jeremy's other question was, and we're only going to touch on this because this is probably one of those ones that's better suited to a bigger group, but since it's just the two of us today, if your life story had a narrator, who would you choose and who would you choose for each other?
Ooh.
Now, the question is, do you want to do it with the kind of gravitas that the person deserves, or do you just want to do it to fuck with them?
Yeah, that's the thing. And I mean, like, I think in most people's heads, most people imagine themselves being narrated by Morgan Freeman.
I think he's got the Morgan Freeman voice.
Yeah, and I think
That's not it. I don't know why I did that.
He's made most of his career narrating things anyway, so that's I think that's where it goes. Oh yeah, he appreciated this. He appreciated that.
And I watched you, Sweet Blake.
But unfortunately, it was the time of it was the time of veganism reached its peak that he went to the pie factory.
At his most militant. Blake was called the Meat Machine. I never asked about that nickname. Well, now I understand. It was ironic.
Yeah. Well, I think because you're such a robot, I think I'd have you narrated by Simon.
You just have that speak and say from the. I was born in the.
It's just you're just narrated by Windows Sam. And
that's it. Yeah, I was born in a cool guy. Fridge, cunt, frick. Fridge, fuck, shit, fuck. Wanker. That's what you did when you were a kid. I don't care what anybody says. That's what everybody did when they first got it.
Everyone made Windows Sam sweat.
He was a prick, and I'm glad he is dead. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. So here's the thing. If I wanted to choose something cool for you, Mark Thompson, the guy who does the Star Wars audiobooks.
Okay, I don't know if I've heard
he's great. You'd love him. He's really, really good. If you're talking about just like a famous voice actor, then the
only Star Wars audiobooks I've done are the Darth Bane trilogy. So,
that Jonathan Davis is the other guy I would have picked as well because he's the narrator for that one. Or John DiMaggio for you, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Like, what's cool? Do that. Do.
It's a bit.
Now, if I wanted to fuck with you, I'd choose Pee Wee Herman.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Appreciate. It's the magic word.
I said, I'm trying to think of who would you personally have for yourself?
For myself? I don't know, I know there's probably, I'm sure there's some really good choices. Do you know, actually, I'm not a massive fan of him generally, but probably Will Wheaton.
Okay.
He does a really good job with Ready Player One. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Or Yahtzee Croshaw, because I feel like it's like a spirit animal of mine.
Just because I think it would be, he went to work. He would always try to challenge you by thinking it would get better for whatever you're doing.
Well, do you know, I want that because I want him to basically roast me like zero punctuation.
Yeah, you'll come out. That's the thing. You'll be playing a game and he'll just be completely trolling you while you're playing the game. So,
yeah, I'd be up for that. If it meant I could meet Yahtzee Croshaw, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
I'm trying to think of like more famous.
I'm thinking, well, obviously he's only semi-famous depending what circles you're in, but just because I really liked his narration in a lesser-known film called Bunraku.
Okay.
Mike Patton.
Okay. Oh, that's a good shout.
I think he'd be a good one for you, actually.
Oh, for me? Okay. Well, that's very kind of you. Very kind of you.
I always liked you, Robbie.
To fuck with me, you'd have Mike and the Mechanics.
Yeah.
He lost his
thing, I thought I already had
in the crazy years.
I thought I was already fucking with you by having a Cylon.
Yeah, that's one way to fuck me, I guess. The thing is, you could, for all I know, Mike and the Mechanics are Cylons.
Well,
I can't trust anybody now. I've watched 3 episodes of this fucking show.
Can't even trust me.
No.
That's why you have me so far away.
Well, no, to be fair, I've been able to rely on you most of the time, which is more than I can say for most computers. So I think I'm safe. You're useful 99% of the time, which is more than which is about 90% more than most computers.
That's true. Yeah, it's about time our PC broke again, probably.
Hasn't been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. It does randomly throw up a window, like a feed.
Just throws up.
No, it just randomly throws up a DOS screen and disappears.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just going to say the disk tray opens and it just fires vomit out.
No, it will randomly, we'll just be playing a game or doing something on it, and then randomly a DOS window will just open up and say System32, and then it will close down again. Huh. And I'm just like, I've never known any computer do that before, but okay.
That's weird. Yeah.
But the fact that it works and only occasionally, it's not a massive issue. I mean, if it throws me out of Steam, it's just minimize it and then go back in. It's not the end of the world. But it's one of those ones I can't be bothered to work out how to fix.
Yeah.
And just tolerated it for the world.
I think, who else could I choose for you as a serious one? I feel like somebody...
Do you want me to put on a serious voice for you? A serious face?
I'm thinking like a serious action hero kind of voice. Like a... Jason, not Jason Statham. That's probably a bad example. Denzel Washington. Yeah,
he just hears me talking a list and he just goes, "Did you just understand a word he just said?"
You taking the piss? He appreciates stuff, you know what I mean?
Well, I have heard good things about the Meg.
I've heard good things, but at the same time, I feel like it's going to be the thing that just burst the bad movie bubble.
Well, a lot of people just say it's exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, but if it does well, I feel like it's going to lead to a load of AAA bad movie budgets, which defeats the sort of...
Which you would argue would probably be Sharknado, really, is probably the closest it's been before that point.
I don't know if I'd describe AAA budget as being what I'd expect from Sharknado, because I can't imagine, bless her heart, like she does a good job, but I don't think Tara Reid's expensive.
No. They're CG, isn't. I think the Meg special effects are meant to be all right.
Apparently so, yeah. And it looks all right, the trailer looks fine. It looks perfectly serviceable.
Yeah. I suppose Snakes on a Plane was a bit shit as well, so special effects wise.
Very true. Yeah, there is that. But there you go. So those are the people I'd choose for you. So I'd choose an audiobook drama voice, like a Mark Thompson or a Jonathan Davis, or if I wanted to fuck with you, Pee Wee Herman, or somebody suitably action kind of oriented. That's like Mark Wahlberg trying to describe your life would just be fucking amazing.
Actually, I wouldn't mind Mark Wahlberg, because if I am sitting there and I get woken up by a storm, at least he can lull me back to sleep with the Thunder
That's
Buddies
true.
song.
You could sing the Thunder Buddies. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you, Thunder.
Anyway, Jeremy, I hope that answers your question, and that about does it, I think, for the Crazy Train episode 71.
Ooh.
I know. Obviously, it's been a little while since 70, but sickness happens, and we have to move on and deal with it.
It does bug me that it never feels like I've been doing this that long, but it does bug me when I see this in the Facebook feed, for example, and I see
a lot of on this. What's weird is how many
3 or 4 years, 5 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, really? Was I doing this 5 years ago?"
Yeah, it's 5 years this year, 5.5 nearly now, and we managed 70 episodes. There are some people who managed that in just over a year, but I think we've done okay to keep to a relatively, once a month on average is something.
I feel like, I wouldn't want to. I don't mean it in a horrible way, obviously. I don't think I could record as often as 70 episodes a year. I think it would,
lovely.
I think it would burn. I think it would burn the fall out.
Oh, totally, yeah. And it would be lovely to be able to do it, but it's one of those things where I'd need to basically be able to hire you to be professional.
That's the thing. It would have to be a job, really.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, it's like it becomes work, and some of the fun.
Which seems an odd thing to do, entertainment as a job. But I would do it if I could. It would be fun.
People seem to enjoy themselves doing it, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, I do always wonder, seeing people like the Yogscast and that doing that stuff, and I was like, it must be great fun doing all that stuff. They seem to have laugh all that about it. Obviously, I always go for people that are always being recorded a large chunk of their day every day. There must be points where they're like, no, we're going to have to be serious and talk about business stuff now.
It's true. Even now, I'm like, I find myself sitting there thinking, I could be doing some I could stream video games or something. And I'm just like, you know what? I have so little that's just to me, just for me.
I think that's the thing. You're doing 2 podcasts.
3.
3, sorry.
Yeah. 2 outlets.
Yeah.
But 3, yeah.
You've just done a book.
I did do
another thing, which I'm sure, which I don't know if you want to do. Lead that onto your plug in a moment. You work full time anyway.
I do. In addition to that,
and commute.
Yeah. And I've got other projects in the works that I'm not able to talk about yet.
Yeah. Plus, you got obviously YouTube with Toy Box and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, been a bit of a lull, but I've got some. I think by the time this comes out, there'll probably be something either already out or imminent.
Yeah. So,
depending on how, how easy
I'm saying, it's not like you don't do anything. I mean, I feel like I do enough with doing the podcast, the band, and I don't feel like I need to do loads. So,
nah, mate, it's the thing, you have to be able to. This is something I've found myself doing, like to not to wheel out a depressed trike or anything, but thank you. Need to get an animatic through for that. It's one of those things. It just go on the list of things never to get done because it's always so far down the list. It's unreal. But I've been finding myself recently, like, making a conscious effort to pick every now and then, just say, like, right, I'm going to stop doing X for a week. And it might just be, I listen to a lot of culture and politics podcasts. Well, not a lot of them, but I listen to a couple. And then sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm taking a week. I'm not doing it. Because you just get immersed in that world, and it's just really like, not much fun, to be honest. And it's like, unless you're engaged with it enough that it's like, they say, these people, some of these people you listen to, and it's not, I'm not just talking about the podcast I'm listening to, I'm talking about generally a lot of these things, like you say, it's their job. So it's their job and it's their responsibility to be read up on the subject matter. I just don't have the time to be up to speed to the same level. If it was my job, I might consider it, but it's not, and I can't justify it.
Also, I think the people that do listen to us and do enjoy us, I think know that we're just talking shit. And
I hope so at this point.
And I'd like to also think that they don't. Yeah, if they haven't worked it out now.
Exactly. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I would just say that I wouldn't. I mean, like, I know people. As you read from the reviews and that, people enjoy like the games cast, for example, because we're just talking about games that we like. We're not we're not Eurogamer or IGN. We're not paid enough to do Eurogamer and IGN. Although sometimes I do read some reviews and I do feel like I know more about gaming than some people. Some people do reviews for IGN. But
that's probably true. But at the same time, it's like, you've got to keep up with a lot of stuff in order to keep up with things nowadays. There's so much going on.
And that's the thing. I don't think I could. I know everyone goes, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do a job in the games industry," and I'm like, my worry is that will kill it for me. Because I think if I've got to spend all day, every day covering a different game every day, and then you'll have the days where you have to do sports games which you're not that into, and
but
you have
to
do a whole thing about, if I had to do this big article on a Madden game, I'm like, I know fuck all about American football. And they're basically up to 3 o'clock in the morning reading up on what the hell American football is.
Well, this is it. The other thing as well is, like, you see this a lot with the reviewers. You sit there going like, oh man, they get paid to review games. It's like, yeah, but for every new Madden they get to review, which is probably going to be relatively well polished and in a good state, they've also got to review 5 or 6 just complete schlock.
Oh yeah, well we remember that from the old days.
Yeah, but then if you get paid for it, it softens the blow. It softens the blow a little,
Yeah, and and at least you are forming an opinion. It's fine. But it's when I watch YouTube videos of some people and they're talking about, like, they'll do like a recap video and it'll be like their favourite games of the year.
Yeah,
they probably their favourite game is probably the only game they've actually played that whole year.
To be fair, if you look at the ones I've played that came out this year, it's probably not that long a list. Most of the stuff I'm playing is catching up.
Yeah,
and even then, I'm giving up on a lot of stuff because I just can't justify the time it's spent to become fun.
I've been playing a lot of smaller games that are these sort of either Metroidvania or these ones that are a bit like that roguelike-y style things where the idea is behind replayability. So,
I know the kind.
But I mean, obviously, we'll talk about that in a moment.
Absolutely, but the listeners will hear about it if they're subscribed to both things. They'll hear about
you'll get to hear about it in a week,
and you'll like it, and you'll be grateful.
Fucking love it.
That's also cool.
Yeah, you'll fucking love it, just like Puppet Nite Owl.
Yeah, this is it. Puppet Nite Owl just going to town on Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare didn't enjoy it.
This is This has been a weird show.
It has been a weird show. I'm sorry we went on a slight ramble at the end.
That's absolutely fine. I'm enjoying. I enjoy these conversations very much. So Anyway, if you've enjoyed these conversations and you wish to partake in more of them, then you can subscribe to the Crazy Train on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, Podchaser, Podomatic, Pod, Spotify, YouTube. We're everywhere.
I'm pretty sure just Googling Emotionally 14 will find it.
Exactly.
This is definitely Crazy Train.
The Crazy Train podcast.
We're probably if you just Crazy Train podcast, or just type in the Crazy Train, we're probably just under Aussie anyway. So
we are a little way under Aussie, but not by as much as you'd think, considering that he's had that song out for some time. Maybe his SEO needs work. Who knows? But the point is, on the subject of podcasts, actually, I'll give a couple of quick shout outs. So I'm going to give us some shout outs to the E4D. Actually, I'll do the endorsed ones in a minute. But I just want to give a shout out to the Quirky Gems podcast, who were very kind enough to shout us out on a recent episode. So thank you, Gem.
Okay, cool.
Much appreciated. Love what you do. And it's always a pleasure to interact with you on Twitter. So speaking of Twitter, you can interact with us on Twitter by searching @Emotionally14. Or we have a Facebook page, Emotionally 14, or a Facebook group, the Crazy Train Podcast group, which you can find from the Facebook page. And if you want to interact with us there, you can join up. It's an approval group because I don't want to get spammed by bots offering me $7.1 billion in bullion. I've been burned too many times, unfortunately. So where's my damn bullion? Whatever the hell your name was.
Yeah. You can't cry at movies, but you can cry at bullion.
Yeah, this is it. I cried at a few of those. Blake, where can people find you between shows?
In between shows, you can find me at work. You can find me on Facebook and Blake Palmer. You can find me on Twitter at fuck's sake Blake, and you can find me on Instagram at Palmer the Appreciator.
All right, cool. Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rob Wade Vision, and you can now, as of recently, purchase my book, my short and sweet book, and I do mean sweet. Assorted Thoughts on Podcasting. If you search Rob Wade in Amazon, I'm the first result in books. So, for now, at least, that's easy enough. It's cheap, it's short, it's sweet. It's advice for people thinking about starting a podcast or people thinking about starting a new podcast who've already got one. It's just a collection of things I wish I'd known and a collection of, just anecdotes about things I thought that we did well and things I've learned from stuff that maybe we could have done better at the time or have since learned more about, that sort of thing. So it's just a collection of anecdotes and experiences that is hopefully designed to help out those looking to potentially start their own podcast. I've already had some very lovely feedback from people about it. I've kind of, been slowly launching it out there everywhere. So by the time this goes out, I'll have put it everywhere. So you'll be able to buy Assorted Thoughts on Podcasting from Amazon, or if you're Kindle Unlimited, you can get it for free. But obviously you pay for that elsewhere.
Yeah. Alternatively, you can also get it through the Amazon widget.
Yes, you can, which is available on emotionally14.com, which is the wonderful website where all this magic happens. And speaking of the magic that happens there, I'm going to give a few shout outs to the endorsed podcasts. So about 2 months ago, I'd say.
2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, 2 or 3. About the time I acquired Talk Star Wars, I thought, you know what, I need to do something of equal significance with Emotionally 14. So what I decided to go and do was reach out to a few podcasts that I absolutely love and ask them if they would be kind enough to let us endorse them on our website, publish their latest episodes, give people a chance to check out their links. And I was delighted that half a dozen shows have so far accepted. So I'm especially going to shout out, obviously Talk Star Wars is a given. The Tumbling Saber podcast, Carl and the guys in Canada there doing wonderful Star Wars stuff. And if you're a Patreon user and you want to get involved in some really funny extra podcasts, their Patreon is well worth the price of admission. The Nerd Room podcast, if you enjoy your comic books, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars, the Nerd Room is absolutely worth checking out. Similarly, if you like geek stuff and you like British accents, then the Wulong Talks podcast is well worth your time. They are wonderful guys who were kind enough to have me on one of their episodes in the distant past, far too distant. And guys, if you're listening, I would love to make another episode happen again. Maybe we can get Blake involved as well because everybody loves a bit of Blake. I'm trying to get you over, basically.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we've also got the Roman Podcast. So the wonderful Canadians over in Canada. It's funny enough.
What are the odds?
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, Roman and Rob, they do a wonderful, irreverent news program. Do you remember News Falsh? They used to do for Emotionally 14, the written one.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit like that, but it's just weird and wonderful news stories from around the world with their comedic take on the stories. It's very much not for kids, but if you're a kid and you're listening to this, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is not the Peter podcast. It's never going to be. You're safe. Just fuck off. So those are the E14 endorsed podcasts. So let's say E14 is very proud to put their stamp for approval on those podcasts. We love them and we think you'll love them too. So if you want to check them out, then emotionally14.com. You can find them along the sidebar if you're on a desktop. If you're on a mobile, then you can find them in the podcast section under the side on the little top navigation bar. They're all well worth your time. I hope to add more in the future, but obviously it's not up to me. They have to say yes. What else is there? Am I missing anything? I feel like
merchandise.
Who gives a shit? No, it's to be fair, merchandise. We do have a TeePublic store, /store/emotionally14. They do now ship to Europe, although I've noticed
we have a /store.
Yeah, we have a /store. Yeah, I have noticed that they charge the price of the T-shirt plus VAT, which I feel is a little bit harsh. So it can get quite pricey. So if you're going to do an order, do it all in one go and save on your shipping, won't you? But you can get wonderful Gamecast, Crazy Train, and Dream Big Blake T-shirts, which I'm still, determined to endorse. Yeah, I know you endorse. You appreciate it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Blake feel of appreciation.
What else am I missing? So we got some YouTube shows that are well worth checking out. We've obviously got the podcast. We've got Fire When Ready, which is Star Wars Tabletop. Brick Fury, which is HeroClix, and then the Toy Box, which is HeroClix and Star Wars Destiny currently. Maybe, with potential minds doing other stuff in the future, but it's mostly stuff you can blind bag because that's pretty much how I roll. There you go. I think that's it. I think that's certainly a decent amount of stuff to get you started. You can find it all on emotionally14.com in any case. So look out for that stuff. Thank you very much for listening to The Crazy Train, the comedy podcast with no rails. Peace.
Blake used rock tomb.
It was pretty effective. I forgot how to say effective. It was pompity pumpy.
It was pretty impregnative.
It was pretty impressionable.
Blake appreciates the impregnation.
This is true. Yeah, well, it's good to know. Thanks, man. Take care, buddy.
No worries. Peace.